Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am honestly so excited to film this video. This is by far my favorite video to film all year long, and in that spirit, I have actually decided to make this a two-part series. So today's video is going to be my Best of Beauty 2018, but as you can see from the title, I'm going to be doing it a little differently. Today's video is going to be exclusively high-end and luxury products. I'm going to be doing a completely different, separate video for affordable and drugstore. So that way, I can do a little Best of Beauty for any budget and any price range. The thing that I am going to do is when I list the items in the description box, there's going to be a little asterisk or a star next to the products that are my favorite across the board. So you'll be able to see today which of these products are my absolute favorites. And if you see that something is up there and it does not have a star, that means that you got to stay tuned for my drugstore video where you will see what is the absolute winner for that category. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So I have a whole lot in front of me and I'm going to attempt to go through this in the order I do my foundation routine and everything. So that way I don't forget anything or don't waste too much time talking about any one product. So I'm going to jump right into primer. The one that I feel like has been the winner for me across the year has been the TATCHA Silk Canvas. I have been using this for a whole lot. I am already hitting the very bottom of the pan on here. I'm trying to turn it to the side so on the monitor you can see exactly how deep I've gone in with this. But this has been amazing, and I've noticed since I started using this, it does blur my pores, which a lot of primers do, and I have a lot of great pore blurring primers. But I noticed since I started using this product, I have had less breakouts and my skin as a whole has been much better. I've even lightened up my foundation routine to use less coverage because my skin has been that much better. And this is less of a primer because it's more skincare. So it does kind of blur out your pores and really give you a smooth base to put your foundation. But what it also does is it kind of creates this little barrier of skincare, protecting all of the makeup and pollutants throughout the day from getting into your skin. Less pollutants in your skin means less clogged pores. So that's something that I feel like I very strongly have seen a real impact, because a lot of these products are beautiful and they work really well and I love them. But this one has not only made my makeup game better, it has also made sure that when I'm not wearing makeup, my skin looks the best it ever has. Also along the lines of primer, this did, I believe, win last year. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the shade Painterly, also clearly well loved. This is the only eyeshadow base that I can use that keeps my eyes from getting creasy and gross. Obviously today I didn't go super over the top, but on the days I'm going in with intense shadow and blending and glitter and the works, the last thing you want is for creasing. And this is the only thing. I've tried other primers, I've tried concealers, I've tried everything. The only thing that comes close, and I will give a mini honorable mention, is the P. Louise Shadow Base. This is in the shade 02 Rumor, which is the original shade. I love the way this wears, but I don't feel like it has yet become tried and true for me. I like the way it wears, I like the way it looks, and I like the way things blend on top of it. But just when I'm getting down to the wire and I need to grab something that I know is gonna last, this is the one I go for. I will be posting an updated lightwear foundation routine that is a little bit lighter in coverage and a little bit more that I've been doing lately. So in honor of following that, and you will see that video coming shortly, lately I've been applying my concealer before my foundation. So the concealer of the year for me is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I am in the shade Porcelain, which I definitely think gives me a nice brightened effect to the under eye. Something that I think, okay, there's a lot of things I like about this. First, when they say super coverage, they mean it. This is gonna block out everything. I'm not gonna go too much into it because you've seen me use it about 1,000 times. But compared to my other 2 longtime ride or die concealers, this is, I think, what made it the most standout product for me. With this product, I use less concealer. It is roughly the same price as both the NARS and the Tarte Shape Tape. NARS is 0.22 fluid ounces. Shape Tape is 0.338 fluid ounces. And this is a full ½ ounce. You are genuinely getting more than double what you would get in the NARS, and almost, I mean not quite double, but at least 1.5 times what you get in the Shape Tape. I definitely understand ingredients and formula and packaging and things could be more expensive, but honestly, who doesn't want more product for the same value? Plus you use less of it. So those concealers I would burn through every 3 months, if that. This I've had for almost 6. I am nowhere near coming to an end. It has not dried up, it has not gotten unusable, and honestly, even if it did, I'm already getting more use out of it than any of the other ones. For foundation, I know I am very late to the game, but I finally got my hands on the Dior Air Flash, and it is worth every penny. This is hands down the best foundation I've ever used. I still love the Fenty that won last year. I still love the Dior Forever that won last year. They kind of mixed together, have been my go-to blend. With this one, I find I get all of the benefits of both, but like, it's so much thinner and so much more lightweight. With this foundation, I spray it right on my beauty blender, pat it into the skin. I don't have to spray it on the face because I really don't want that much product, but a little goes a very long way for me, and I find like you can still kind of see that my skin is showing through. This is not quite as full coverage as I used to go, but like I said with the TATCHA, I am much more confident in my skin lately that I feel like I can get away with less coverage, and because of that, using something like this, which doesn't get super shiny throughout the day, if it does, it touches up the same way as all of my other foundations, which is great, but I mean, it just leaves such a skin-like glow to the skin. It is a luminous matte finish, so you definitely get this like glow from within radiance, but dry, oil-free, and shine-free. For powders today, I do have 2 to talk about. One is pressed and one is loose. The loose powder is the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. This is one of the most finely milled powders I think I have ever used. This is one of those powders that, again, is tried and true. It is such a soft consistency that it basically, it's almost like cornstarch. That's how thin it is. And something I love about it the most is that if I were to take a little bit and press it into the skin for a touch-up, it is a very yellow looking powder, but the second you get it on the skin, it is not a banana powder. It is genuinely a translucent powder. So it goes on clear, so you get all of the smooth benefits of the powder, plus that like brightening effect that you get from a banana powder with none of the yellow tint. And the pressed powder has to go to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. Clearly, this has seen some love. I think that this has become my favorite facial setting powder just because I feel like it gives such a beautiful luminosity to the skin, and I definitely understand the irony of the fact that for the longest time I was matte, 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 matte. And since I found a skincare routine that has helped, and I have found a lot of products that have really like changed up my skin, I've realized I don't mind a little bit of shine as long as the oil is controlled. If I can get that glow and that luminous skin-like finish, but have it stay that way, I love it. My issue was I couldn't keep my oils at bay long enough for the luminous to turn into shiny, to turn into oily. So now that I've kind of mastered that with my skincare and my primers routines, this has definitely come in handy with giving me that like soft focus blur and that bright luminous glow. The next few products I am going to kind of skip through just because you've seen me use them for the better part of almost 2 years now with some of them. So first is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. This has been used on my channel from day one. I have loved this. I have abused this palette. It is honestly the one I gravitate to. I did find one recently that I've really been liking, but it is still too new for me to call it a favorite or a yearly favorite because honestly, I started using it last week just to try it, and this one is still the one I will trust, still the one I will go to for an event, still the one I will use time and time again, just because I know what I'm going to get out of it and I trust it. For bronzer, huge surprise here, it is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in Tan-Tastic. This is the more cool tone of the 2 shades. Last year's winner for Best of Beauty was Tantric, which I'm not sure if it's going to show on camera. It's just a little bit warmer, a little bit more of that like orange tone. Great for me in the summer. If you are anything warmer than I am, and I do have a very cool complexion, then you might want to go in that direction. However, for me, this is the one that I absolutely swear by. I think my favorite thing about the formula is I'm going to take a little bit now just to build up, is that as you build it up and you blend it out and you add a little bit more, it blends so seamlessly into the skin that you're not going to get any harshness. Like, I just added more bronzer, and all it did was give me a little bit more warmth to the skin and really just kind of define some features, but it's not getting overly warm, it's not getting overly orange, and it's not going to give me that, like, fake bake glow to the skin that, honestly, I am not a fan of. Now, if you've been here for any amount of months, you know I am not a huge fan of super matte or pigmented blushes, so it's no surprise that the blush of the year for me, which I did get in a BoxyCharm, is Tropic Hues, which is a baked blush from Laura Geller. What I love most about this is the luminosity. This is, like, do you see that reflect on camera? This might as well just be a blush topper. It's very similar to NARS Orgasm or like the Milani Luminoso, because it does have a nice sheen to the skin. It does give you a nice soft luminosity to the skin, a very nice glow from within. I don't like a super heavy blush, but I love giving myself a little bit of like a rosy glow to the cheek that you see when I'm straight on, but when I kind of turn to the side a little bit, that dissipates a bit and all you really get to see is the contour, which is what I like. I like a little bit of rosiness, but I am so cool toned and I have such redness in my skin that I spend all this time evening out the base to get the redness out of it. I really don't want to be overly like heavy-handed when putting it back into the skin. Rather than give this to a single highlighter or a single formula, I'm actually giving it to a brand, and I would like to recognize Artist Couture for the highlighters of the year. So I spoke about this as my favorite loose highlighter last year. This one's in Cocoa Bling. I think last year I spoke about Illuminati. I don't even open it. I just leave the cap basically off. I dip right into here into my brush, and then I just kind of like pat it around in the lid so I have a very small amount. And even that just gives such a punch and really just amps up any glow. I love the way it looks on the skin. I love the finish you get from it. And I like that it has a little like wet metallic sheen with a subtle sparkle so that it's really, really pretty, especially in low lighting. This is probably the prettiest thing to use for events if you really want to just get that soft focus, glowy, dewy look to the skin. And recently, the brand came out with the Diamond Luxe Luminizers, which are a pressed formula. And this one is one of the prettiest things I think I have ever seen. It just gives such a beautiful glow. Similar to the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder, it's a very soft focus luminosity, but you can build it up to blinding, and the two of them layer so well together that I highly recommend playing around with them as a pair. At this point, we would go into setting spray, and obviously I'm going to honorable mention Fix Plus. I have used this forever. I feel like everybody has used this forever, and to not mention it as a favorite because I basically grab for it every day when I do any sort of foiled eyeshadow look would be kind of an injustice. So I'm going to casually mention it and then jump into my actual favorite setting spray of the year, and it is the Fix It and Forget It from Lancome. I think that this is such an underappreciated setting spray because it's also an anti-pollutant spray. So kind of similarly to how the TATCHA Silk Canvas protects things from getting into my skin, this also gives you a very clear barrier between your skin and everything out in the world. And did you see that mister? Like, it's just, I feel like I'm wasting it. It is just such a soft focused fine mist. And you need to go into Sephora, go to the Lancome section and try this on your skin, because I think the thing about it that is the most refreshing for me is it does not feel wet on the skin. Once you put this on, you don't get that like, my skin is wet, my skin is tacky, don't touch anything feel. It really like instantly dries and instantly just sets everything in place. This actually is up to 24-hour makeup setting mist to deflect and protect. They say 24 hours and they mean it. I think that since I started using this, I am kind of just rushing to get through all of the other ones in my drawer so that I can pretty much exclusively use this, because I may like it more than pretty much every setting spray I have ever used. That's a really big claim, but honestly, like, it's that good. On to eyes. So again, we're going to go through this very quickly. The mascara of the year is the Benefit Roller Lash. I have tried and used a whole lot of mascaras. I have a bunch at all times that I play with and that I get from BoxyCharm, or, you know, I try on my own. And there's a lot that I have liked for a lot of reasons. This is the one and only mascara in my life that I have ever repurchased. I will love a mascara. I will use a mascara. I will really enjoy it. And then when I'm done, I say, you know what, that was really good. And I go pick up another roller lash, and this is the one I keep returning to. I was going to say I can't tell you why, but I know why. I'm going to link a video I did on Mascara 101. And the 4 things that you look for when you are looking for a mascara are length, curl, volume, and drama. I find that my lashes do not hold a curl very well, and this is one of the few that actually gives me a curl. It does give you lift and length, so it does kind of amplify what you naturally have. I will say that you don't get a lot of volume. If you don't have like natural fullness, it's not going to add fullness, but it is going to give you that curl and that drama and that flare. So for me, when I'm going in without falsies, I don't need the drama because I can always throw on a false lash if I want the volume and the real voluminous. Today I have a very wispy pair on just because I wanted something a little more natural. For me, this is a very toned down look. But on the days where I just want a little bit of mascara, like, that is still my go-to. For liner in the waterline, there is no competition. That's not true. There's a little bit of a competition. I just haven't used the other one enough to really call it a favorite. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in the shade Blacker. I love this formula. I think it is so creamy, it is so smooth, and it is so long wearing. You can smudge it, you can smoke it out, and it's really going to give you that intense pigmentation in about a million different colors. I am going to say honorable mention runner-up, the Pat McGrath Permagel liner, the pencil liner. I don't love that you have to sharpen it, but other than that, I think it is, Mac. Other than that, I do think it lasts really well, and I will continue to use it and see if I love it as much as the Marc Jacobs. But as of right now, this one is definitely more of a winner for the year for me. That one may end up dethroning it next year, but we will have to wait and see. For glitter, it is no surprise that my favorite is going to be the Stila Magnificent Metals. I have a whole bunch of these in my, hold on, wrong drawer, in my glitter drawer. I've got a bunch, and they are really pretty. I love the way they wear. But these two I want to give a special shout out. This is Diamond Dust and Wanderlust, and they are absolutely my favorite shades. I have used this one on my channel many times. Wanderlust is, I think, the perfect shade for pretty much any look. And the reason is, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera, depending on the way you're looking at it, you either get pink or gold. So it's perfect to layer over gold. It's perfect to layer over rose gold, champagne. And if, in case you didn't want to go in like that, you can always just take Diamond Dust, which is a rainbow finish foiled silver with a whole lot of sparkle to it. So cool tone, warm tone, these are my favorite two. I have a whole bunch more, but honestly, like, these are the two I grab so much more often than any of the other ones, no exception. Last product for eyes before we finish up and wrap up with lips. I did kind of hint this in another video, and I've been playing around with what is my favorite high-end eyeshadow palette of the year. And after much deliberation, I did come to the Sultry Palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Everybody and then some has played around with the Modern Renaissance, which is beautiful. But for people like me who are really into cool tones, this is where it's at. For my brother's wedding, I did my makeup, I did my sister's makeup. Honestly, this is the only palette I brought with me to use. I had a BoxyCharm event the next day. This is the palette I used. I find that the cool tones are so beautiful. You can definitely play around with some of these other shades to give yourself that warmth back. But for a cool tone palette, which there aren't a lot on the market, this one just really delivers. It blends really well. I used it today for a more subdued look. I've used it on my channel probably 6 times for more vibrant and over-the-top looks. So you can definitely scale this down to everyday wearable versus dynamic and dramatic and everything in between. And lastly, onto lips, my cream and liquid lipstick formula, which I do want to give, again, acknowledgement to a brand and not a single product. I have to give it to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. The lip ammo, clearly this is well loved because the logo is gone. And the Velour liquid lipsticks are both my hands down favorite formula of lipsticks. This one is in Unicorn Blood, which you've seen me use a whole lot of times. I have a whole bunch of the liquids as well. This one is Red Rum, which I've kind of been ombreing together with the two of these, just because it gives me a really pretty, like, pouty red lip. This is like the perfect holiday red, but more importantly, they are long wearing. You can eat and not have to reapply them. If you're going in with something very oily, obviously it's going to break down the lipstick a little bit, but all in all, they are some of the best, most pigmented long wearing formulas, and it is available in pretty much any shade under the sun. And the last item for the day, which is my lip gloss pick of the year. No surprise it's going to Fenty Beauty. I did wear the original Fenty Glow lip gloss on my wedding day. But the winner of Best of Beauty is actually going to a new release, and this is Fussy. I'm wearing her today. It is a pink-toned lip gloss. So I'm going to pull out the original Fenty gloss, which, as you'll see, is more of a terracotta shade. I'm going to swatch them next to each other. And nothing against the original color because it's beautiful. For my coloring, the pink is just a touch more flattering. That being said, I definitely have days where I go back and forth between the two and I can't like decide which one I like more, but all in all, you'll see this one has a little bit more warmth to it and a little more of like an orange bronzy undertone, whereas this one is definitely a true pink. And I just love the way the true pink looks on the lips. I think especially for my lip color, it's especially flattering. But if you are looking for more of a terracotta, or you want to go to Diamond Milk, which is the like super sparkly frosty, you're gonna love it. It is infused with oil, it is infused with shea butter. Like, this is gonna really nourish and hydrate the lips, unlike a lot of glosses which leave you crumbly and cracky and chapped, and that is not fun for anybody. So that wraps up my Best of Beauty 2018 for luxury and high-end. Make sure to once again stay tuned for the drugstore and affordable edition. Again, down in the description box when I list all of this stuff, if it has an asterisk next to it, it is my favorite in both categories. However, if it does not, in the following video, you will see what takes the cake of Best of Beauty for the year altogether. So make sure to leave me a comment down below with some of your favorites, because if I haven't tried it yet, your comments are how I decide what I want to test and what I want to try, and I would love to hear your recommendations. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!